Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for Noobs here on the Paddle and Fin podcast. I am your host, Sean. My co-host Susie is again absent this week. She is studying for a big test for work, and she's really kind of trying to buckle down and make sure she can get through that. So she's again allowing me to fly solo. Susie, we miss you. Can't wait to have you back. Should be back for next week. Next week's show, we have plans to record that in the next couple days. So uh, plan on seeing Susie at the next show, but just wanted to wish her well in that test and tell her we're all rooting for her. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. This is the second show of our sixth season here at Paddle and Fin, the second new show, I should say. And I wanted to just take an opportunity again to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. And tonight's guest that we're bringing back, I think it's been maybe even close to 2 years since he was on the show. He originally came on to do a show back when Milford was with me doing the Noob show, and we had him on to talk about shaky heads, and learned a lot from him then. And I had the opportunity to spend some time with him this summer. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once I introduce him. But I just wanted to take a second and welcome back Mr. Ethan Jett to the show. Welcome back, Ethan.
What's up?
Not much, man. How's life been treating you?
It's been good. It's been good. Fishing all the time and living the dream.
That's right. That's right. That sounds awesome, man. I wish I could say I was fishing all the time. Especially right now, man. I'm lucky to get out once a week if I can. I've been fishing from the shore a little bit more, but I just got my dry suit back finally. So super happy to be able to get back out on the water a little bit more.
It's cold up there, right?
It was in the 30s today. But it was like rainy. It was like 39 and rainy. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to hold off on going out.
It was a really cold 65 here.
Do you guys break out like the winter jackets when it gets that cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been 2 weeks ago. It was down like 10 degrees. It was cold.
I can't imagine how, like, I know how, how we deal with that, but down there, you guys gotta do you even have stuff to wear when it's that cold?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just bundle up, wear 5 shirts, and
So, well, I know I can't remember. I should have looked back to see when you were on when we did the shaky head episode, but I know it was a while ago.
It was over 2 years ago. Yeah.
I was thinking because I know I have almost a whole year under my belt without Ryan here with us. So
Yeah.
and I mean he was still here a while when we interviewed you. But so why don't you just tell the folks a little bit about, if the folks who don't remember that show maybe, or new listeners, who you are, where you're from, and we can dive into how your year was this year.
Yeah. Well, my name's Ethan Jett. I'm 24. I'm from Lewisburg, Tennessee, which is southern middle Tennessee. I fish out of a Hobie Pro Angler 14. I do all
pretty Ike one, right?
Yes, the Ike edition. Yeah. I had to go with the bright red. And then I go. Try to do all the Hobie events, and I'm getting in the Bassmaster this year. I've done pretty decent last year. I got invited to the TOC and completely bombed it, but who's showing her?
right, exactly. I mean, just to be able to fish in that is pretty amazing, and the company that you're fishing with is
it was amazing. I got to meet a lot of people, hang out. I've learned a lot, so I'm looking forward to what I've learned in 2020 going into 2023. So
gotcha. So during the Susquehanna Hobie event, Ethan, when we interviewed him, I had opened an invitation that anytime he wanted to come up to my neck of the woods, he could definitely have a place to stay at my place. And he actually took me up on that for the Hobie event on the Susquehanna this year. So I got to host Ethan at my house, and Stuart, his good friend, and got to fish with them a little bit, and kind of pal around with them during the Hobie event, which was great for me because that was my first big event. So I had a lot of butterflies, and it made me a little less nervous having those guys to talk to, and especially to fish with on day 2. So I just wanted to say thanks for that. And
Well, thank you for letting us stay. So
yeah, no problem. It was
yeah,
awesome. And it's an open door at my house. So
yeah.
anytime you want to
Well,
come back
just so
here.
know, I'll probably be up there October.
Cool,
So,
cool. That's a good time to be up here. The fall bite will be on fire then, hopefully. And, we can
yeah.
get you.
Well, the schedule's not officially out yet, or all the way complete, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be at the Suskies.
I've heard the same thing too,
Yeah.
and they actually just said that the native big bass tournament is coming back to our neck of the
Yeah.
woods in the fall too. So I'm excited to try that again because that was a pretty crazy tournament too.
Is that the $1,000 an
Every
hour?
hour,
Yeah.
yep, yeah. So I did fish that one too. I didn't fish great, and I had to leave early too because I had a wedding that day. So
Oh,
I fished from like 8 to 12. Or no, like I guess it was at 6 to 12. I can't remember, but I fished till 12 basically, and then ran like crazy. I didn't even go home and shower or anything. I just changed in my truck and went right to the wedding.
yeah.
So,
I've
but
done that a few times. You can
so
ask my sister. I was at her wedding a minute early.
that's the well, you got your priorities in line there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but well, the reason I wanted to have Ethan on tonight is because he also is a big part of rogue fishing or rogue tethers, and I guess is it rogue fishing? What is the official
It's
title of the?
called Rogue Fishing Co.
Okay, okay,
You
but most of our viewers will probably be familiar with rogue just from their tethers, and before I'd even met Ethan, I was using the phone tether because I have yet to lose a phone, knock on wood,
know.
but I have I came close quite a few times to completely losing it. In fact, having to retrieve it from the bottom of the river one time before I had it tethered. But luckily, I was only in like 2 feet of water, so it didn't go far. But that pretty much after that event, I went and looked at phone tethers, and Rogue was the first one that kind of caught my eye, so I picked one up, and I've been using one of those ever since. But we can go into all the different ones, and I figured that was probably a good place to start. Would you say, out of all the ones you sell, what do you think is the most popular one?
The biggest seller is the phone tether, which
That's
is right here.
I kind of guessed that, and yep, I was going to show mine.
Yep.
I have mine attached to my PFD right here, and it's great because it's long enough that I can take my fish picks with it, and there's plenty of length there, but it's also close to me that and I tuck it in one of the pockets of my PFD so that it's right there ready, and if I were to fall in the water, at least my phone is there with me, and I can I could call for help if I needed to, or
Yes. Yeah.
use it otherwise. So
So that's what it just goes on your phone if anybody does not know, and so it attaches to your life vest like that,
yep.
and then you can take pictures like you just said. I've talked to, gosh, I don't know how many people that this little $20 leash has saved $1,000 phone.
And yeah, and it totally has for me too. I almost to the point where I'm not as careful as I probably should be, even with it. I'll just kind of let it flop around there. If I take the picture, and then I'm playing with the fish or getting a hook out or something, I'll just let it kind of lay there, still attached, and but it's never failed me yet, and I can't say enough about how thankful I am to have it, because the alternative, like you said, of phones are just getting more and more and more expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember, not too long ago where a laptop was more than a phone, and now you can buy a half decent laptop for $400, but your phone is double that. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's like during the TOC. I won't say his name, but there was a guy that lost his phone in the water, and he had to get in and look for it. So that was valuable time while he was looking that he could have been fishing.
100%, yeah, and for tournament anglers, every minute that you're not actively fishing, is time that's counting against you, and so it's almost a must have for tournament fish
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anglers, I would think. Just those are the people most likely to have their phones out because you're
yeah,
doing, your catch photo release. And so your phone is going to be, being taken out. Whereas, maybe someone just kind of fishing for fun might not always
yeah,
have it out or might have it locked in, in their kayak or something. But, us tournament anglers definitely have our phones out all the time. So the risk
yeah.
is almost constant that you
It's
can
funny
get
you say that.
jump it over.
We get a lot of comments on Facebook ads saying, "Why don't you just put them in the little pouches?" It's like, well, you can if you're not tournament fishing because you don't have to take the picture of the fish.
Right.
And that's
Right. But even I mean, I used to use when I first got my kayak, I had one of those and it just wasn't convenient.
no,
It's
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 bulky and
your phone can overheat in there,
you know,
all sorts of crazy things. So um I think the phone tethers are just a perfect solution to that. And I don't know, have you made them or how much are you involved in the manufacturing process?
we make everything here except for the silicone cases.
Okay.
We get that shipped in, but as far as the actual coal of the leash, we do it all in house, right behind me actually. So
And that I was when we get to talk about some of the other ones, I have a little story about that too, because I was kind of curious if that does get really stretched out, how quickly it recovers. And but I'll talk about that when we get to that product because
yeah, yeah.
I had a personal story with that one too. But so um the phone tethers, I know I think there's been a couple iterations of that. What all has changed with it?
Was it? We're on the phone tether 3.0 right now, which is all the silicone case is bigger. All the new phones with the cameras, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. And this is the 13 Pro, and the new iPhone that came out is even bigger. So the 3.0, the silicone case is physically bigger, and the actual coal is bigger too. The
Okay,
2.0 was about half of that.
gotcha.
So that's
I
just some little innovations that we've had to come out. And the reason why it's bigger, longer, is people is wanting to stretch it further to take pictures.
mhm.
And then the silicone case speaks for the phones getting bigger.
Yep. Yep, and
We
then go ahead.
we're at the very early stages of a new one that will be out in a year or two. So
Okay, cool. Well, we'll look forward to seeing how that goes. And I think I did actually have the 2.0 first,
I
and
remember you have, yeah, you did. Yeah,
so and I must say the new one did actually fit my phone a little bit better. So I was happy for that change. But all in all, like I said, I'm still happy with the I still have the original one. It's hanging on my fishing rack in my garage because when I got the 3.0, I switched out to it, but the other one still works fine. I just
no.
um, liked having all mine color matching. I luckily have all color matching ones now, so a little,
Well, everything color matching that helps you catch fish, right?
of course, yeah.
No, no.
Navy
Everything has to match.
blue. I mean, the fish weren't biting when it was that gray color, but
Yeah,
now that I got
yeah,
navy blue, they're on top of it.
yeah. That's what I
All
tell
right,
people.
yeah. Well, you guys do offer a lot of colors too.
We
Like
do, and I can run through them right quick if you want.
yeah, let's do it.
So we have, let's see, our biggest seller is the black.
Hmm.
Then we have the roll blue, what we just call it on the website, and then the lemon lime, and then we have rust, which is it's fun. It's kind of like it's a mix between a brown and a red.
Hmm.
It looks like rust. And
Yep.
then we have a red, and this is for you, Sean. You'll I think this is what you need. We just came out with
Oh yeah,
a bright pink, and it don't really look good on the camera here, but it's like an actual breast cancer pink. We
that's cool.
released it in October, so
Yeah, no, and then
then we have a
any
green.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say, I think mine was actually the second one you showed, the line or the yellow and green.
The lime green there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was
yeah,
the first color I had, but I would think like if you were doing maybe a tournament in October and you wanted wanted to pick up some door prizes for your tournament, I think those pink ones would be perfect for something like that.
we haven't sold as many as we thought we would, but I think it's because it's a bright color. It don't really on the camera. It doesn't really do it justice, but it actually hurts my eyes when I'm working on it for 8 hours a day.
I was gonna say when you have a lot of them in front of you, I'm sure it
Oh
is
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
bright. So
yeah,
cool, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, tons of colors to choose from. So that's definitely you can almost always find something that at least close to what you want. I would think.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right, how about number two seller? What do you got for
So
number two?
I'll just go down the list here. We have the Guardian, which is a paddle and rod leash.
Mm-hmm.
So that you wrap it around your paddle there, and you can quick detach it. Now, I don't know if you remember this. This I used it all the time when I was at your house at the Susky. I don't typically run a paddle, but I did have it on the Hobie when I was there. So that's we sell a bunch of these. We sell a lot of these in the bundles that we have on our website, and it's a good paddle leash. I don't use it for a rod leash, but I know a lot of people that puts them on the black packs.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Black,
was just gonna say, I was trying to back when I had lost like two or three rods in one summer, and I looked into leashes, and I tried a few different ones. I actually won from the Kayak Anglers of Central PA. I won some from a different company and tried them, and they are still on the back of my kayak, and I don't use them.
yeah,
I have four of them tied to the back of my kayak, and I never attach them. And just because they weren't really convenient. Initially I was like, oh, that's going to work great, but never liked the part that hung on the rod. I felt like
yeah,
it always
yeah,
got in my way.
yeah.
So, I
That's
was
one reason why I don't use it either. And it's time out of your day having to go and click it off your rod when you can just
right.
easily reach behind you and grab another one.
Yeah. So,
So
it's kind of weird. Like you think that I would have learned my lesson from losing those rods, and I actually, got the ability to tether them. And then I was like, and I stopped using them. So I
yeah,
should probably take them off my kayak because that's extra weight, not a whole lot, but every little bit adds up. Say
oh
so.
yeah, yeah.
But
So that's our.
your guardian, okay,
Then we have. Oh, that's the Defender.
the
Defender.
defender, yes.
Yeah. Then we have the Guardians 115, which is the length, and the 55.
Mm-hmm. And I
So
have two
these
of
are
those
just
here.
yeah, there they are. Yeah.
Yep.
So these are just your basic tool plier or your tool leashes. Put your scissors on. Just your basic tool utility leash that you buy. It, I use them for my pliers and my I've used them for fish grips. Used to. I don't use fish grips a lot anymore, but I've had some bad history.
I have with a donkey leash. I have that same kind of fear. It's still in my kayak,
No,
but I just don't use it anymore because same thing. I lost one huge one, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I trust that anymore.
I didn't lose a big fish, but I lost one that would have won the tournament. So
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. But yeah, I use the smaller size of that for my pliers on my kayak.
yeah,
So I that works great too because there's plenty of length to pull it up and
yeah, yeah.
I
I
actually have
know.
like I don't know the the PA have the elastic tabs like my Outback has an elastic kind of mm, place where you can attach stuff to, and so I attach it to that, and then that gives me extra length. Like, not that
Okay.
this isn't long enough, but with the
Yeah.
elastic and that I mean, I can stretch those pliers as far as I
I don't
need to.
think the
So,
PAs do not, but I
okay,
know what you're talking about. It, yeah, I know what the little like it's almost like a bungee cord,
right,
right?
yep,
Was it a lot of some people use the 55s as a range finder when they're hunting. They have it
okay,
on their vest and they can range when they're hunting, like bow hunting.
right,
So that's a kind of a different approach to what we do. You can take a lot of our stuff hunting. A lot of people use the phone tethers for hunting too. So that if you drop your phone, and when is that big buck going to walk out? Right when you drop the phone. So
Right. Or you're way up in your tree stand
yeah,
and messing around on your phone, and then you drop it, and you
yeah,
don't want to climb the whole way down and spook
hmm
everything that is anywhere
yeah.
nearby.
So I
I
know a
was
lot of. Go ahead. Sorry.
As I was going to say, I was curious, how much of marketing that you guys have done to outside of the fishing, and I figure that's why you went. Well, you were talking about maybe, broadening into lots of other places. I would
Yeah,
think, there's lots of applications for it that are not fishing related necessarily.
yeah. I won't get into it too much, but there's some changes that will happen this year with Rogue that will actually help us get into more wider ranges of products, and we're small right now. We're trying to grow, so the changes that will happen in the next couple of months will really help us explode. I think it's
Cool.
an exciting time. So
Cool. That's,
yeah, yeah,
and I think it's definitely applicable because, when you can branch out like that, as soon as people in other areas see what you have to offer, I think it's almost like a no-brainer.
yeah,
Because you'll have experience in our industry and you can point to that and say, hey, look, we're proven, here, give us a shot, and,
yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
you'll quickly fall in love with it. So, all right. So we have the you know the
The
kind of just regular tethers.
yeah, yeah.
And then where do you go from there?
Now the next tether is my favorite. I just love the way it looks. Is the Titan board leash.
Yep.
It's very military tactical look. It's very heavy duty. So you open it up like that. Yep, goes right on your catch board.
Yep.
So this is a $25 leash that protects your $75 board.
And this was that was my other story that I was going to talk about. So, going into the Hobie event, I had no idea that I couldn't use the carbonate board, the catch board that I already had. So I had to quickly acquire a catch board. I didn't know that they sold them right at the Hobie event. Learned that
I'm
right
sorry I
there.
didn't tell you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I still did okay. I One of our other co-hosts hooked me up with a code, so I ended up still being able to get one a little cheaper than off retail. So, but at the actual Hobie event, I had that tether, and uh, in some of that fast moving water, I knocked my catch board out, and it went like straight to the bottom, but the tether was long enough, and it actually stretched out pretty far. And I was like, ooh, you know, is that going to recover? But you can see, I mean, it was fully stretched. I mean, it was down about as far as it could go, and it came right back to regular size.
Yeah,
It didn't even miss a beat, and it totally saved my investment on my catch board,
yeah.
so I can definitely speak to that. It worked perfectly. So
Well, a lot of people don't realize I sat there for 8 hours a day stretching and to quality control.
that's why you make the big bucks, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't get in that much quality, but we have tested them to see what the rebound is, and all of our leashes go back really well. And actually, you can actually put a little bit of heat on them, and it goes back. If it starts stretching a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you can boil it back,
Okay.
and it'll tighten back up.
Cool. Yeah. No. And I actually, when I first started using that tether, I would actually disconnect it to bring it
Yeah,
onto my lap. But I actually found that even with it, I have it hooked behind my seat, kind of in the tank well area, through one of the loops back there, and I can put it on my lap, measure a fish, and never disconnect it. Like
yeah, yeah.
I stopped even disconnecting it, especially after I dropped it that one time. I was like, man, it's not even worth it because it works fine. And doesn't really get in my way, and so I just leave it hooked up all the time.
Well,
But it is. Go ahead.
the leash actually will stretch 65 inches.
Hmm.
So
So yeah, it gives you. I mean, it really it's kind of amazing how easy it is and how convenient it is. But I do like the quick connect too, because I don't leave it on my
Yeah,
catch board on my kayak. So it's another thing that, all I have to do is, bring it back there, plop it down, and connect it, and I know
yeah,
it's good and going to be there when I get back to the ramp.
yeah, yeah.
So
And you can ask any of my friends. I'm the world's worst at taking stuff off my kayak, and that's one thing I love about the Titan is that all you gotta do is push those two little pins and it pops off. I've actually ruined a red catch board um, as it's sitting outside and got bleached or whatever, sun bleached.
from being on your kayak the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. So now
Nice.
I'm a lot better on taking it inside, at least inside the truck.
And I think Brad Hicks, one of our other co-hosts, has a story about, and I'm not sure which tether he used, but he actually drug a carbonate board halfway home before he realized it was hanging off the back of his kayak.
Yeah.
And so that's a testament to the tether and a testament to the board, because there was still some board left when he got home.
Well, our one of our pro team members, Garrett Johnson, he got in a wreck, and he had his catch board in the back of his kayak in his truck, and it actually reached out and expanded all the way and came back. It was like a missile.
Wow.
It would probably have either killed somebody or seriously hurt him if he did not have the leash on it. It shot out.
That's crazy. So
Yeah,
thank goodness he had it tethered.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's at least three different people that's told me that they've had it jump out of their truck and extend all the way and come back. So
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, and that speaks to the durability, absolutely. But just the stretching length, the like you said, 65 inches,
yeah.
that can pretty much go the better part of your kayak. So
Oh yeah.
you can have it tethered pretty much wherever you want on your kayak and still be able to pull it where you need it. So
Yeah. That's my favorite leash. I just love the look of it. So
yeah, it definitely is beefy. You have no doubt once that clips in there that
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not going anywhere. So not that the D rings, like I use the D rings even off of some of I think I took the D ring off of my old phone tether, and I'm using that for something else attached to my kayak, just because I mean the D rings themselves are pretty beefy.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how much you guys have tested those, but I've never had an issue with
I
those
can't
either.
remember. We've tested them quite a bit. I think I don't know what the tonnage or like the weight capacity is, but it's
Hmm.
high. It is high. We
Yeah,
buy it's quality, very high quality material that we get all of them from. So
cool.
we'll go through probably 4 or 5 different manufacturers when we make a new product before we actually release that new product
Gotcha.
on
And
the material that we make it out of. So,
mhm. Yeah. And I know there's a one product that I got to test out a little bit that I'm excited for you guys to
yeah,
release, and I'll let that for another show. But just knowing how long your testing process is, and how much you really do put things through the ringer before you bring it out. It's
yeah.
definitely uh, you know you prove it to yourself first before you put it
Yeah.
out there. So
Well, I always everybody gets mad. All my friends get mad when we go fishing for working. Like we'll go fish at work. It's like it's product testing. So
yeah, that I would that part of the job has to be a perk for sure.
it is. It is. We did a little photo shoot a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how he made me look good, but the picture turned out really great.
That's cool. That's cool. When they had like a professional photographer come in, or just you
Now
guys
we
did it yourself. Okay.
yeah, we have
That's pretty
a
cool.
we bought a really nice camera, and so I guess money does make people look better.
There you go. Well, I might have to invest in some money. That they say you got to have a voice for podcasts, but not a face for podcasting. So,
Yeah.
but we do go live on YouTube. So, but, all right. So, what do you think you want to cover next?
So the next we're going to get into our drag straps. So we have 2 drag straps and 1 extender that goes along with the drag strap. So we'll go with the very first drag strap we ever came out with. This is called the Ally. So it's a nice handle, nice, real sturdy grip, and it's I don't know exactly how long it is. I can't remember, but you wrap it around your front handle of your kayak, and you can drag it. And then we have, and this one we've sold a lot in the recent. This is called the ADS. So the adjustable drag strap, and it's got a long cord, and it's
I think
got that
that's the
same.
one I have here. Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So Mr. Chad Hoover on kayak bass fishing, he did a video about 4 months ago showing what you can actually do with the ADS. And what he does is he'll use it as a re-entry strap if you fall out of your kayak. So he'll take it off the front of his kayak, he'll put it on one side of his handle, he throws it over the kayak, he flips it back over with it, and then he actually puts his foot in the stirrup here and pulls himself up.
That's a really good idea.
It
So
is.
it doubles as a rescue ladder.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
After
So,
he did that video, we actually sold out of out of the ADS within 2 weeks. We had to order more and make them, and we've been selling them a lot.
well, that's a good idea, and that, I mean, that goes to tell you the power of social media. So you
Oh
never
yeah.
know when, one of your products, you get it in the front of the right person, and the right people see it, and it's going to go nuts. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've
but that,
we've been very fortunate to have him on our side and stuff. Now, I personally use it one as a kayak strap, but then I also use it as a deer drag.
okay.
So people all the time ask what all you can do with it. I can take it, wrap it around the horns or the neck, and it's a perfect deer drag. It merely makes you. The reason why we invented that was my boss Mark Drury, who's the owner of Rogue. He has a bad back, and so he wanted something that he could keep the weight of the kayak down, and you could pull it.
Hmm.
And so that's the whole reason. That's the story behind the ADS.
And that was definitely something that came in handy with me at the Hobie event, because I was not expecting the water levels to be as low as they were.
Yeah.
And I ended up, that they made a special. I don't know if many of the Hobie tournaments allow you to wade fish, but I know it was a rule for, the
Yeah.
Susquehanna event.
That's the only event
I
you
kind of
can.
figured, but it was definitely, something that I didn't anticipate, but luckily I had that just hanging out inside my front hatch, and man, it
You know,
it was worth its weight in gold for that event, because I spent so much time out of my kayak. And if I would have had to just pull that little T handle in the front of my Outback around all day, it would have been exhausting. So
well,
uh,
an easy way to make a little cheap drag strap or a wading strap. Have the ADS. You can put the carabiner on the handle there and loop that around your belt buckle.
yep,
So
yep, and
there's your
then
little.
have it right there. So, and it takes up so little space in my front hatch. It's almost like a no brainer to just have it in there. And
Yeah.
especially like you said about, for reentry and stuff, just having it readily available there as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that I hadn't thought of that use, but that's perfect, because, I've seen people make, buy the reentry ladders and stuff,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
if you can have something that, serves both purposes, it's going to save space on your kayak, and, you know, and
Yeah.
weight, when you don't
I
have to
hope I hope
carry too
nobody
much.
ever have to re-enter their kayak. But if you ever flipped a fully rigged PA or any kayak, it's a pain to flip it back over. But
Hmm.
if you do that little trick of putting it over and then using your body weight to flip it back over, that's the easiest way to do it.
No,
It's a
that
pain.
makes a ton of sense. So, and they always say it's not a matter of if you're gonna
Yeah.
roll your kayak; it's a matter of when. So, it just having it and being prepared for that moment is definitely a good idea. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, what do we have next?
So that is it for what we have currently.
Gotcha.
or
Okay.
except for hats. We have some rogue fishing hats that's on the
Okay. Yep. Yep.
website. But
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
wearing one style, and then there's another. Now, something special for bass fishing for noobs that I convinced my boss to let me do is to release our new product that will
Cool.
be out next week at about the earliest.
Okay.
So they're called the Micro Series. If anybody was at the national championship, you already know about it. But here it is. So we have two versions: a quick disconnect,
Okay.
which you can right there,
Right.
and a split ring.
Nice.
So these are just your basic rubber um, leash. And what a lot of people, reason why we wanted to come out with this, two reasons. One, for range finders, for more of the hunting crowd, because it's quiet,
Mm-hmm.
can't hear it. And second is a lot of people would always fuss about the bulkiness of the handmade ones,
Mm-hmm.
and it is there. You can tell it's on there. So you have a cheaper, little smaller size, and this thing can reach, and it goes right back. So it'll be out next week at the earliest.
Well, that's cool. And like, thinking of different uses for that, I know one of the things I was looking for was how to attach the whistle to my PFD.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I would think that would be perfect for that because, it's going to be keep it close enough to your mouth that it's there, but it's not going to take up a ton of room on your vest
yeah.
either. So,
So it's perfect for PFDs, your pliers, um, light tools like your scissors and your little snips,
oh, yeah.
and that's what the little quick disconnect. It's gonna be. I use it for my snips, the little line cutters,
Hmm.
because I can just take it off and rig up with it at my tackle box, and then I come back and it's right there.
That's a really good idea because I use the boomerang snips and I usually
Yeah,
have them. They're actually probably on my vest right now, but I always when I'm sitting at my tailgate, just tying things up, I always think, oh man, I got to go grab those off my vest, and just being able to pop it off there would
yeah,
make it pretty convenient. So,
yeah. I'm looking forward to. We sold a bunch at the national championship, so a lot of people was using it as a phone tether. They would wrap that around their phone case, like the end of the phone case,
okay.
and that's what they liked it.
And I know a lot of phone cases actually have little places for tethers like that.
Yeah, yeah,
My I'm trying to think. I think it was my OtterBox had a notch for a spot like that. So
yeah. This one does too. Yeah, it's right there.
yeah, so you could just put that little loop through there and then have a quick disconnect phone connection too. So
Yes, yeah,
cool. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's a cool product. So
yeah. I was happy to release it on your podcast.
yeah, cool. Well, there you go, guys. Go out and visit Rogan. Check out I think you said early next week. It should
Yes,
be out there.
at the
Okay.
minimal. That'll be the
Well, by
earliest.
the time this airs, so this will air next Monday. So
Yeah.
sometime in that week, it should be out.
Well, that is actually the day that we're shooting for is Monday.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I kind of wanted to release it with you and kind
Cool.
of talk about it. So
Well, there you go, guys. By the time this show airs, you should be able to go check that out. So
and I'll sweeten the pot if you use code Ethan15, ETHAN 15, you get 15% off.
well, nice. There you go,
Yeah.
guys. So definitely take that opportunity. Like we've talked about, these tethers have saved me at least the price of one phone and the price of a catchboard. So right there is probably easily $900, I'd
Oh
say.
yeah.
And for the minimal investment that you'd have to make to pick up a few of these, I think the very first I don't remember. I want to say when I got my Tether 2.0, my phone tether, it came with a drag strap. I don't know what kind of packages you guys have.
We have it's called the Pro Pack, which comes with, trying to remember, not 100% sure what all the packages are. I don't handle shipping, so I just do production. So I know the Pro Pack comes with two 55s, two 15s, a Defender paddle leash, and a foam protector,
Okay.
and an Ally or ADS.
Okay.
So that's the big pack.
Okay.
And then we have a safety kit, which is like a foam protector and a one leash, a 155, and an Ally. And if you just go on roguefishing.co website, you can look at all the bundles and order T-shirts. We do have that as well.
And I'll make sure I include the links to all these products in the show notes. And
Yeah.
also, is it okay if I put that that code on the in the
Yes.
notes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll do that too. So make sure you guys check out the show notes for this episode and take advantage of that. So, is there anything
So,
else you wanted to cover, Ethan?
the products wise, I think that's it.
All right.
Do you have
Well,
any
what
questions?
let's see. No, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of excited to see where you guys head as a company, and new products that you're coming out with. I know of one personal one that I really like, and can't wait for everybody
Yeah.
else to hear about that one. But yeah, how about this year? Like, what all do you have planned? Are you mentioned you're gonna jump into KBF a little bit, or
Or
Bassmaster?
Bassmaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
My good friend Steve Owens, he took over being the tournament director. So I want to show my support for him and all the Bass Nation, Tennessee Bass Nation. He's the tournament director, and he does it so well. So I'm like, well, might as well jump in with a national trail with him and have some fun. Hopefully,
Yeah, yeah.
my first tournament will be down in Harris Chain for the Hobie BOS. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And are you're still planning on doing most or as many of the Hobies as you can, and then
Yeah,
hitting up? So that's a lot of traveling. What's your, did that take you away a good bit?
yeah, it does take me away a little bit. Thankfully, my boss is the best boss in the world, and he loves for me to go out and talk to new dealers. And right now we have a wall up here with all our retailers. We have 60 so far, around 60. That includes we have one in Kuwait,
Wow.
Canada, Mexico. So it's kind of a running joke. We're a multinational company now. So
Well, and for like you said, you guys are a relatively small company, so that's
yeah,
that's a pretty good reach for such a small
yeah.
company.
We with me included and my boss, we have four people working for us.
Wow. Okay.
We had six, but we unfortunately lost a couple of them um, due to other issues. We're not sure why. So
No, that happens, but that's impressive that you guys are able to do that. Like, how about like fishing shows and stuff? Do you guys do
yes,
rounds at those? And
we um we will be at the Columbus show, fishing show, and the Tennessee or the Tennessee fishing show in
okay,
Knoxville.
okay,
So
what?
that's this year. Next year we're gonna really hit it. So
Gotcha. Well, the Columbus show, I know I've heard that's a huge show
it
too.
is, yeah.
So,
And the
um,
nice thing is we're actually going to be located inside of somewhat of a kayak community, like a venue in there. So
okay.
it'll be nice to have fellow like-minded people beside us. So,
Right, right, and yeah, I'm sure enough people will have known of your product then that word of mouth should spread pretty good. I would think.
yeah, yeah,
Hey, go check out the Rogue booth. They have good stuff over there. So
yeah, yeah. We got a nice little road booth that we'll set up, and so it'll catch people's eyes, and it should be a good show. We'll have a lot of product there. We'll have the new micro leashes. So,
cool, cool.
yeah.
So as far as personal goals for you this year, what are you? Yeah, I
Well, my
mean,
biggest goal is to go back to the TOC. That's my biggest. Then hopefully finish in the top three or top five in a national trail again.
gotcha. What was you had a second, right? That
I
was
had a
your
second
highest finish.
place at the Chickamauga Hobie BOS. So,
So to finish second on Chick, which is one of the biggest
yeah.
friggin' places in the world that tons of people fish there. To that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, I was really surprised. In practice leading up to that event, it was kind of tough. I had an area that I knew I could catch them, but the only bad thing is everybody else knew about it. Is a very popular area, and
Okay.
so I was like, I tried and tried to find something off the beaten path, and I could never do it. And so I rolled the dice and went in there, and me and one other guy was in it on day one, and I caught 89 inches or something like that, and I was in 12th lead or ninth leading into day two, and the
Okay.
dude, I actually knew the guy that was fishing in there. He texts me on Facebook, says, "Dude, you have it by yourself." I was like, "Okay." So I
Wow.
went in there and ended up getting second place.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. And just the company that you were with in those events is just amazing. And
yeah,
but just I just not to toot your horn or anything, but the way you carried yourself, even on the Susquehanna event, the when Stuart and I were both pretty discouraged,
yeah,
and your positivity was there the whole way through, and I think that's going to help you a lot. I think your
yeah.
mental game is strong, and
I try to always call it keep my PMA, positive mental attitude, high. And it is fishing's a it's a I think it's a 50-50 game. 50% of it is skill and 50% of it is mental. If you got the positivity, you just keep fighting and fighting and eventually it'll come true or so. And
cool.
and the TOC very tested my positive mental attitude a lot. I finished 49th out of 50. So at least it wasn't last, but I've learned a lot. And
Any techniques or anything you're looking to do with this year? Or any new new well, you have your did you have the Ike edition through most of the season? That was
I
pretty
had
late in the
the
season that you got that,
I
right?
had the Ike edition at the very last two tournaments of the year.
Okay.
So I'm
And
looking forward to do it.
and
Go ahead.
you didn't have 360 before that, did you? Or
I
did
did.
you? I didn't
I
think
had the
so.
180. Yeah,
And how much of a difference has that made?
I love it. It's
Yeah.
it's out. It's a world of difference. Being able to be able to position your boat in the wind and be able to fish is so nice. I had
I'm
a little bit of problems with it at the beginning, and that was just me not knowing how to adjust everything. But
okay.
after it is, Jay Wallen actually says it the best on a comment I read. It's like a high performance machine, like it's like a drag car. It might be the fastest car out there, but you're going to have to wrench on it to keep it that high performance.
Gotcha.
And it's the same thing. Once you
Good.
have that mentality, it's not. It's like you just know you're going to have to work on it a little bit.
Right. No, then
But
that
as
makes
long as you,
sense.
yeah,
I was gonna say, and that's almost why I'm afraid to try it,
you
because
know,
I know I'm gonna like it, and then my wife is not gonna like it because
yeah, yeah.
so that's why so far I have not even ventured to get in one because I'm like I probably shouldn't.
I
It's
tell
just
you, for
gonna
the Susky, it'd be awesome.
yeah.
Being able to go and in that current push you around and face it and keep you in that current, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I
No,
think a
and
12 PA 12 would be great for out there.
yeah, no, and I it's on my wish list. So I'm still but you know what? My Outback really does everything that I really wanted to do for the most part. It's
Yeah,
just so I'm almost I always say I'm always on the lookout for the next one, but I most of the ones that I've tried, I'm like, you know what? I can't say that I love it more than my Outback. So
yeah, yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Well, being that you put it in the back of your truck, the Outback's probably the best that you can have.
No, and I agree. Until I step up to a trailer, I think well it'll probably be my primary, but hopefully at some point I get to the point where I can have a lake and a riverboat, and
Yeah.
we'll see where we go from there. But
Well, I bought a river boat to go to like river fishing, and then I never used it, and so I got rid of it, and I just have my and now I've fished rivers more this year than I had when I had the riverboat.
No,
So
everybody told me when I first got the Hobie on this, and they're like, "Oh, there's too many rocks on the Susquehanna. You're gonna hate it."
yeah,
And 9 times out of 10, now it was rougher this summer with it being as low as it was,
yeah,
but even with that, the small amount that I had to pull up my paddles or my pedals and paddle a bit more, it still does fine on the river, and
yeah,
I've smacked that drive a lot, and it is held up, knock on wood again, but I have really smacked that around, and I am still on my original mast and my original fins. So,
Do you have the kick up?
yep.
Okay, yeah, yeah. You probably
So,
almost have to have the kick up out there. Yeah,
yeah, no, and there are plenty of times where that has come in handy.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I would recommend that if you're going to fish the Susquehanna and a Hobie, is to at least have the kick up fins, because
yeah.
those are almost a necessity. But
If I go back to the Susky, I'll probably be in either an Outback or a Lynx.
okay. See that, and I know one guy that fished the links on the Susquehanna, and the maneuverability looks amazing on it, but I'm still a little worried about the durability. I
Yeah,
saw a couple of pictures online of some rock impacts, and I do bump a lot of rocks in my kayak, and that's the only thing that scares me about that. Not that I'm a total Hobie fanboy, but I looked at all of them, and initially I was like, oh man, you know what? After I saw the inflatable one come out, I was like, well, heck, that looks awesome. But then I saw a guy he just dropped fish on it, and the scales
yeah.
punctured it.
That was
So,
actually at Susky. That was
yeah,
Jake, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, Jake Harshman, yeah. And so I'm
yeah,
like, so I kind of crossed that one off the list, and so I'm just waiting. I have a feeling Hobie's going to come out with something that's perfect.
yeah.
But
They'll come out with I think a new redesign of the Lynx eventually.
I agree, and because all they have to do is make it a little, even if it adds a little bit of weight to it. I think the selling point of the Lynx is its maneuverability and its weight. I think it weighs like
Yeah,
45 pounds or something
it
like that.
does. Yeah,
So
it's amazing how light it is.
and that's that. I'd still think I could get away with that. I just would have to be a little more careful with it. But it
Yeah.
seems like a really cool platform. So that still might be on the list, but we'll see. So
Well, hopefully you can get you one. I'll probably end up having a Lynx before too long.
well, if you get one, and you have some extra room on your trailer, if you ever come visit me, bring it with you, and I'd
Oh
love to
well, I'll
try
be
it out.
bringing. If I go fish Susky, I'll have it. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's see. I wanted to give you a chance to shout out where folks can find you, and also all of places that they can look up Rogue as well.
All right. Well, Rogue is roguefishing.co on Facebook, Instagram, and then with my personal pages on Facebook, it's Ethan Jett, and then on Instagram, it's Ethan_Jett_fishing. Um, then I also just created a YouTube channel that I will be posting content on, and it's Jett's Fishing Adventures. So
Okay, cool.
there's no videos on there yet, but it'll be. I'm editing one right now. That'll be my very first one. So bear
Nice,
with me.
nice. What kind of cameras are you using? Are you just
I got
getting into the camera game?
Well, I just got into the camera game. One of my good friends, Christine Fisher, helped me with all the setup. I thank her very much. It's a GoPro 9 with a round mount, 40-inch or tough pole. Then I just got another GoPro 9 that's going to be in front of, like, facing towards me.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to do it legit, trying to get it all nice content. I don't want to show anybody some crappy content. So
No.
they already got to put up with me, so it's going to be crappy anyway.
Well, if anybody can help you, I mean, Christine does good content too.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're learning from one of the best there, I would
yeah.
say.
I
So
got a bunch of good friends that are doing some great content. Bailey Egret.
yep.
So he's helped me some
I
on
think,
what
is
to
he
get.
the Serious Angler podcast? I
Yeah,
can't
Serious
remember.
Angle. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I
Be the
thought.
fish.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we've had Bailey on the show before. He's a good dude.
He's an awesome guy. Yeah.
So
That's some of the great honors of fishing the national trail is that you get to talk to a lot of people that you look up to in the kayaking industry. Like
yeah,
my first Hobie event on Toledo Bend, I was like a person sitting in looking at all these Hollywood stars. I was like, oh, look at that. That's Christine. Oh, and now
I was just going to say, I think I would be just as starstruck,
starstruck. Yeah. And now I have the honor to say that they're my friends. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So cool. Well, Ethan, thanks again, bud, for coming on. We'll look forward to see where Rogue goes in the future, and the products you come out. Anytime you want to come back on and highlight that stuff, let me know.
Yeah.
Look forward to maybe doing a show with you live here in my basement here. By then I should have, you can see the drywall behind me. I have some drywall stacked up. I'm working on
nice.
Making a better studio here in my basement. So that's coming soon, but hopefully by then, by October, maybe if you come up, we can do a show live together.
I think it's October 8th and the 9th or something like that.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well, cool. Well, stay tuned for that, guys. And, Ethan, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate your time tonight, and wish you luck this year. We'll keep up and follow along and see how you do. All right.
Thank you for the opportunity. So.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck. And hey, tell everyone down there in your neck of the woods I said hi. How often do you see Stuart? I haven't talked to him for a while.
I talk to him every day. So.
Cool. Well, tell him I said hi, and thanks again. And we will keep in touch. All right.
Yep. Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, guys. This has been another episode of Bass Fishing for Noobs here on the Paddle and Fin podcast, where we bring you the techniques, the tricks, and the tips to help you rip more lips. Until next time, have a good night.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You can support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.